776.
And we are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Bums podcast. It's your host, Rob, aka B-Ball Archives. And once again, I got the bums up in the casa. AJ, thanks for joining me. And I need you to do me a favor. I need you to introduce our special guest. Can you do that for me, my dude?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, we got SPURNANDEZ on the podcast, a Spurs Twitter legend, if you will. He is here. He went to the NBA Cup. He's met Michelle Beadle, so we're going to get some good stories out of him. But, you know, SPURNANDEZ, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Been a fan of you guys' show. You keep it real. You guys, you have the blend of the nerding out stats to the heartbeat of what is the Spurs and what the Baseline Bums podcast is all about. So I appreciate you guys.
Hey, man, appreciate you jumping on, man. Man, what a game though. This game was wire to wire, just domination from our side. And I guess, let me ask you, Rick, first of all, what'd you think about this game? Like, what would you notice the most?
I'll be honest. I'm always a little reluctant when it comes to these early games, because you never know what you're gonna get.
Sure.
These games are so early. I think it throws off these. High level athletes or high level people in general are very routine people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like this is here now. It's here and I'm off.
Right.
So sometimes you never know. So I'm not gonna lie. I was a little when it came to these early games, but man, this team is transcending and passing all those issues of, is it an early game? Is it a late game? Is it a road game? Is it a second of a back-to-back? This team does not give an F about that stuff.
Absolutely. And it's nice to see us just rise above all of those criticisms that we were facing earlier in the season, whether it was, oh, they're not experienced enough, or they don't know how to close out games, or they don't have enough people that have kind of been there and done that. And now it just seems like we are almost infallible at this point. Like, we don't really have faults, and we have a myriad of ways that we can beat people. We can get the ball in the paint, really just dominate with just our paint presence. We can shoot from three consistently, more so than ever. And it just really leads me to believe that, man, we're going to be really tough to beat. And on nights like tonight, we prove that. And I mean, do we start with Steph Castle after his amazing triple-double? Is that where we start?
1000%. He gets game ball, so we got to start with him, right? King of the castle.
Absolutely. Yeah, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Just a really efficient game from Steph Castle, 9 for 13. That's what you want to see, just rounding into form at the right time, menace on both sides of the court. You just love to see what Steph Castle's bringing you right now.
He's a March Madness national champion, right? And we're in March Madness. I think he's feeling it. You know what I mean? He's remembering those great March Madness performances. So there's something to be said about a player who's just been in winning environments, just like people, right? Just like I think that's a people thing, right? When I know the cliche is, iron sharpens iron, and it sounds like a cliche, but it's very true. Like, I think it's true in life. When you're around winning cultures and just good things, there's just something about you that just kind of breeds more of that. And that's what Steph brings, man.
Dude, absolutely. So with Steph Castle too, like you put him next to a guy like Wemby, who just loves winning, and you get him to push your best player every night in and night out. And then you saw the way they celebrated when he got that 10th rebound. They were all just like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, everyone was so happy that he got that 10th rebound. And it's like, yeah, man, this group is just so tight that even when they have their issues or they make mistakes, like, they can talk to each other on the side and be like, hey, you kind of messed up there. It's like, yeah, I know I did. And when you have a team that's willing to learn, that's a scary situation, especially going into a playoff series. And what we're going to be talking about a lot is how are they going to react when they're 1-0 or 0-1 or 2-2 or whatever in the playoffs? And if they're able to respond the way they have been during these kind of games, that you can get a little low. Like we were talking about it last time when we played. Who we played last time? One more time, Rob.
Are you talking about the Grizzlies?
The Grizzlies, yeah. So like these types of games, like, you can kind of like take a nap on the bench essentially. And when you have a team that can still get to 127 points and still be in the flow of their offense, like, dude, That's what you want to see, and that's how you can tell how a team's growing over time.
Oh, absolutely. 110%. And I got to highlight this comment from CV. And that's like, we are relentless on both ends of the floor. And then just whether you follow us into the paint and we can make you pay from the three ball. And we've been generating so many corner threes, and it just makes everything out there so much easier when you just space the floor like we have been. And obviously we highlighted Steph Castle, but I think we got to highlight our 3-point shooters tonight. And,
Yeah.
Champagny and Vassell going a nice combined 7 for 14, nice 50% from three. And everything is easier when they shoot the ball like that. Just everything opens up inside, and you're able to have a really efficient game.
Absolutely. We know Wemby, right? We know Fox, but I agree. When Julian and Devin are hitting, it's something different. It's something different because now you're picking your poison. You can't pick it. Even if you like poison, you can't pick it because you're going to Wemby. You're going this way. Devin's hitting. Julian's hitting. Man, I'll tell you. Hey, Julian St. John's almost pulled off the upset yesterday against Duke. Man, I'm telling you, man. They almost did it, man. So to me, man, Julian is that St. John's kind of guy, man. New York, just tough. Just and it's also sometimes it's you're down, again, I don't know if you guys are New York guys, but the city is a tough city. So sometimes you're down, and when you're down, you're down, when it's bad, it's bad. Right. And that's just a fact. But man, when the New York lights are bright, they're bright, baby. And that's what I think about Julian.
Yeah, dude, 1000%. And what was great about those threes too, is that we got him in different ways. It wasn't just one thing. It was Wemby drawing in the defense and us kicking out. It was us sucking, like just kicking out and move the ball back and forth, and then hitting an open three. Like the ball movement that we were able to do. And one thing that, like, man, it might be a pet peeve of mine, to be honest with you, is when an NBA team plays zone defense. I'm like, guys, like this is, and I know Doc Rivers is probably just reaching for something at straws at that point, but when you play a zone defense against a team that's hitting 3-pointers in the NBA, that's not a great situation to be in. So I'm glad that we were able to dominate the way we did and win by, what was that, 32 points?
Yeah, that's a dominant win. And there's so many positive aspects of tonight, whether it was the off bench play from Keldon Johnson and Dylan Harper. Just both of them are just rounding into great form and just reminding teams that we are the deepest team in the NBA. And I know OKC exists, but they've had inconsistencies throughout their roster where, J-Dub and Chet at times, they don't look like a true second option to Shea. And I'm like, well, if they look a little inconsistent and shaky, then we are the deepest team in the league. And I stand by that wholeheartedly when you have really solid bench performances like tonight. And I have to ask one question. Dude, guys, what's with the headbands? There was some are we the Headband Boys now? I like it. I like it.
Buddy bands, man. Buddy bands. I like it, man. You're right, man. I saw Fox with that headband, and when Carter throws that headband on, you saw that stank face he gave that one time. Man, I'm telling you, man. There's just something about them headbands, man, and I love it. You're right. That's a good point.
Whenever I saw HB with it, I was like, is he wearing a headband? And then, like, he turned his back and he saw the NBA logo and like, oh shit, he's wearing a headband.
Dude, I think there's something like mid 2000s about a nice headband that, like, it just gives you the signal to the opponent that, like, you know what? I'm not fucking around today. Like I'm here. I'm ready to sweat, and I'm not trying to get any of my eyes. I might throw this headband at the crowd if I'm feeling a certain way about it. So I like the headband boys. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I mean, De'Aaron Fox he had a great game in terms of just efficiency and just what he did on the court, but he only had 12 points. So you're like, if you're only box score watching, you're like, well, he didn't really have a great game. Like, no, he had a fantastic game. The way he starts every game with getting to the paint and hitting a mid-range jumper within the first 5-6 minutes of the game, you're like, well, there it is. And then you have to worry about, so now you have to worry about that. And then you also have the 7.5-foot guy that you have to worry about. And then you have Dylan Harper coming off the bench, slashing up everything. Dude, I look at Dylan Harper the same way I look at Kenny Wu from the Mighty Ducks, like as the third bash bro, but the obviously the slash bro. And I can see just Castle and Fox, yeah, That's our guy.
Well, it's hard to not just be in awe of what this literal teenager is doing out on the
Mhm.
court. It's just it's mind-boggling because usually when you're that young, it's I want to go fast, fast, fast and
Right.
try to beat people off the dribble. And he's like, no, I'm gonna play at my own pace, try to lull you into a sense of comfort on the defensive end. Do a little spin bump. He's big enough to be physical with you or go around you. It's like there really is no good way to defend someone like Dylan Harper, and he's kind of new and fresh. So like a lot of these defensive opponents have only seen him maybe once or twice. So they really haven't figured him out yet, and it's fun to see.
Yeah, and you gotta. To me, I attest that too. I mean, again, he just grew up around this stuff. You know what I mean? His father, obviously, NBA champ and all that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
again, that goes back to that. Like I said, I may not be a big stat guy or whatever, but there's just certain intangibles, man. And like Dylan Harper, growing up around this stuff, I think to him, he's just like, this is me. This is what I was born for. I'm around this all the time. So, and you see it because you're right. Most young players would have to be like, man, settle down, and talk to Dylan Harper. He seems like a vet already. You know what I mean? Out there in a young man's body. And you're right though. I don't think he gets a lot of the attention. So the defenders don't. They're just like, oh, we're worried about Wemby. We're worried about. They're just starting to worry about Castle. And it's like, wait a minute. Now we got Harper. Like,
Yep.
what is going on here?
Oh, and when Harper's in the game, he's probably going against twos, maybe
Hmm.
threes, and so he's cooking them.
Hmm.
And then you put the ones out there, and he's still cooking. And you're like, oh,
Hmm.
good God! And my favorite part about the entire situation is they all play defense. Like they
Yes.
all play defense, and they play hard defense. So we end up facing a Laker team or a Thunder team, like the barrage of defenders that are going to be coming at Luca or Ant or SGA or whoever. It doesn't matter because either one of them is going to lock them down and the other ones are going to be on offense, or they're all going to lock down and they're all going to lock in on offense. It's just a great situation to be in. And then, oh yeah, by the way, if they get beat, there's a big guy down low that's ready to block shots too.
Oh yeah, dude. And I'm so glad you brought that up because I think it was a Players Choice podcast that said that the way the Lakers are playing right now, they could even give teams like the Spurs a trouble. And I'm like, are you serious? Our point of attack defenders in the backcourt, we would absolutely smother Luca and
It'd be bad.
AR, and
Hmm.
we would force LeBron to be like a heavy on-ball creator like 10 years ago, and he would just plummet because he can't do that. He's too
We
old.
turn
And
off the AC.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
would start cramping up, and
Hmm.
he would have to get carried
And
off,
carried out
and
again. Yeah.
yeah, so I just feel like we have the recipe to beat teams like that, whether it's we can outbig you and get the ball in the paint, or we can just attack your backcourt, and that's really just I mean, the only team that can even match up with us anywhere near remotely is OKC, and I don't even know if they're going to be as healthy as we are. Yeah.
Dude, if you think Miles Turner's getting bullied by Keldon Johnson, what's Chet Holmgren gonna do? Like
Hmm.
that's the matchup. Like that's gonna be a matchup if we say the Thunder is Chet versus KJ, and KJ is gonna absolutely body him with his 215-pound body.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
KJ. Yeah, KJ. Exactly. Yeah, that's what's great about KJ, man, is he can, man, and he can defend. And I know again, these all sound like cliches. Oh, the guy can defend 1 through 4s and 1 through 5s. No, he literally can by his strength, like his sheer will to his just will. And I love, and I talk about this to people. I love how he's found his role, man.
Yes.
You got to give Keldon
Yes.
so much credit. We talk, we're getting into this like, wow, the Spurs are starting to win and they're contending and the national media is giving them attention. Man, Keldon is like was there when the dark days, right? And we know this. So it's like it's a tough thing to go through that. And then he was a starter and all that. And for a lot of players wouldn't have accepted that. They would not have said, hey, I'm not going to the bench.
Yep.
I was here in the dark days. I need to be, but just him being a good dude, and saying, you know what, this is for the betterment of the team and the city, man, that has to there's not enough words to kind of put into consideration for that, because it's more than just a basketball player. And he's also a young dude. We forget how young some of these
Yeah.
guys are, even
He's
though
still in
they're,
his mid-20s.
yeah, exactly. When I was in my mid-20s, I do not think I could be that mature to accept that stuff. So, man, it just, and we're running out of superlatives, you know what I mean? But it's just this team, man, there's just something about it, man. It's all those little things.
Yeah, and then especially with KJ too, like the fact that he knows how to get his buckets, and he knows that if he just puts his head down and just backs that ass up, he's gonna get an easy layup, or just, and that's also contagious to the way Steph Castle plays too. Like he put I think Prince on his ass, or in the first quarter, just bully ball, just I'm gonna go through you, and then like because you see that from Keldon, and the way that we're scoring down low, like 61 points coming out of the first quarter, or 61% field goal coming out of the first quarter. Like, how do you stop that if you're defending the Spurs? It's really tough. But I will say we opened the window just a tad in that third quarter. We do have to call that out. If they got it to 15.
I think they got it to 13. I mean, it was really close to the point where I was like, okay, we were up 28. They literally halved the lead, if not more. And I was like, okay, is this going to be one of those games where we just like eke by and we win by 13, 14, 15, when it should have been a game where we won by 30? Because
right.
the Bucks have lost 12 of their last 15, 3 of their last 4 by over 30. And
yeah,
we are one of those teams that should have just beat them into the ground. And thankfully we did end up creaming Cream City. So that, that happened.
What a weird thing to see on a court too. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
like, I'm not going to Google that. I don't want that on my phone.
Yeah, exactly. FBI comes looking for you, and you have.
If they got
why are you googling Cream City?
In a heartbeat.
Exactly. Yeah, I always thought the Cream City thing was, man. I don't want to touch it.
little sus, Milwaukee, little sus.
Yeah.
But dude, and also we got to talk about that behind the back pass by Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
dude,
what a perfect pass, perfect feed. And like people are arguing right now about the MVP and stuff. Just look at that play.
Mm-hmm.
How many eyeballs from the defense were on Wemby? 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
10 eyeballs. That's why
dude.
Castle got wide open with the easiest dunk he's probably ever going to have.
Oh, dude, I'm about to call him Wemben Magic Johnson after that, or like literally just drew in the defense and just behind the back pass like it was Showtime Lakers over here. I'm like, geez, and to see just that level of awareness, that's the next level for Wemby, is the playmaking. We know he can score from like inside the paint, mid range, from 3. He's a great free throw shooter. He's got the defense, but then now it's like, okay, when the defense collapse on you, are you going to be able to find everyone in all the various spots? And he's answering that question now with beautiful behind the back passes to Steph Castle for dunks.
Yeah, man, 6 assists.
Yeah, I'll even go a step further, Rob, because my son plays a lot of AAU basketball and high school basketball and all that, and he's a point guard, and he does love doing the behind the back pass and all that, and it's a beautiful thing. But what I noticed is a lot of the behind the back, and I cannot do it, so I am not one to criticize. But it's kind of like you got to throw it kind of wide, because you're behind your whole back, right? So you got to throw it kind of wide to get to somebody. Wemby even kind of like short-armed it to get it exactly where it needed to be, So to me, that was really impressive, because if you watch it again, it wasn't like a wide behind the back. It was like wide and then short-armed, kind of like a pitcher, like he started to like, I don't know, man. I can't even explain it, but he in the instant realized, I think, that that Castle was closer, so he like short-armed it a little bit. Bro, I don't know what's going on in his alien brain, but it's just like the data is downloading in microseconds of time, which that's crazy, man. Like that's man, yeah.
That
Wemby.
I was about to say that Wemby processing chip is just at maximum power right now.
Yes.
And then also Wemby was also able to get to the line 10 times. And that's something that they talked about on the Amazon broadcast. They're talking about how Wemby is so dynamic that he's also causing your best players and defenders to get into foul trouble. And when your bigs are and your ones and your bigs are in foul trouble, what do? And you got to send out your second, third string, and they can't hold a candle to Wemby. So he's dominating in ways that people just don't realize, and they're not going to unless they actually sit down and watch the game, which is why I'm ready for this playoffs things to start, so they can actually sit down and go, oh yeah, no, he's pretty good.
Well, there are a lot of casual Spurs fans that love to watch highlights and they don't watch full games. And I understand this, but at the same time, that's why we're here. We love to fill in the context. And, on nights like this, I think it just shows Wemby's growth a lot, because this is a game where, Wemby may have had, 4 or 5 turnovers earlier on in the season. And I love to see games like this where he's able to be so involved with the playmaking, but still limiting turnovers. And then once again, with the offensive rebounds, like it's stuff that we weren't seeing last season. And then even earlier this season, he was getting maybe 1, 2 boards a game and, not really helping you get that second chance opportunity. And, he had 4 tonight. He had 6 the last game against Memphis. You're really seeing him be involved in that offensive glass a little bit more. And when you see that, everyone eats, because you're kicking out to Harrison Barnes, who's starting to heat up. You're kicking it out to Champagny or Devin Vassell. It's like, these are good things.
1000%. And the one that sticks out the most was the one he skied over Turner to get. I think it might have been his last offensive rebound. He was touching the top of the backboard, and there was 4 Milwaukee Bucks players under him as he just go gadget arms and brings it down, and then I think he got a foul called on him. So just making things happen out of nowhere, just great. I love it. We're so lucky.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, man, we're running out of superlatives, man. We're running out of things to say. It's just, yeah, man. I think you hit it, AJ, the nail on the head, man. We're just lucky. We're blessed.
We got Kelly Olynyk dropping dimes from full court. Like, when
we're just playing. Stop? We're just messing around at this point.
That's what the lunch lady does. You gotta make sure people get fed.
Yeah.
It was a perfect. I'm sitting here going, there are a lot of NFL teams that don't have a quarterback that can do that.
No.
Speaking of, dude, I think Keldon Johnson should be in the NFL as a running back. Like, the way he just puts his head down and goes through you, I'm like, good luck stopping that.
Either that, or he would be a monster tight end. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it. Yep.
Like you little
block.
Well, what I'm saying is you don't really need him to block on 80% of possessions if he's running a little 5 and out and just throw him a little out route and just catch the ball. He's gonna truck that safety. Truck that safety.
Whenever he plants his foot, he's like, hey.
Oh my goodness. I just love the way we talk about Keldon, because he just plays a brand of basketball that I used to love so much, where it was just, you got to just out physical the guy. And if you got punched in the mouth, it's how you responded. And he is always responding the right way. And man, it's just what you want to see coming off the bench for your team. And yeah, it's fantastic to see. But yeah, one other thing that stuck out to me tonight is Wemby with his second technical of the year.
Get a little nasty. Get a little nasty.
Yeah.
Get a little nasty. I like it. I like it.
That ref needs to grow some skin, man. Like, there's so many other players saying way worse shit to him.
Oh, God, yeah.
And all Wemby did was like, hey, you gotta swipe. What the fuck? And come on, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And apparently the clap was the problem, like, at the ref. And it was like, okay, like, what? It seemed kind of weak, but I like that he's starting to get a little bit more animated, because
he was hacked, man.
Right. He was hacked, but I feel like he's starting to just feel the itch of the playoffs right around the corner, where, things are about to start meaning a lot more. And that animosity, that animated behavior is part of it as well. I like it.
Yeah. You know what? I agree. I kind of like some of these texts, or like you said, kind of, I think Wemby's a complicated individual, right? The dude walks in with a 3,000 page book that he's been reading and all that, and he plays chess out in New York City with fans, and so he's such a complex person. But I think, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. Like, and I'm a boxing guy, right? I'm a big boxing fan, and usually non-American boxers get this stigma of like, oh, they're kind of weak or they're not, you know what I mean? They're like, if you're British or you're French, you're kind of like dainty, or you know what I mean? You're like
You're
proper,
technical.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
technical.
yeah. We're Americans, you know what I mean? Like we spit tobacco, I think I like that Wemby. I think Wemby gets this kind of rap of, oh, hey, he's a tough guy. You know what I mean? Don't and he's showing that. So you know, a technical here and there. It's like my kids, man. I don't want them to curse 9 times all the time, but once in a while, there's something's
Let
like,
it out.
oh, okay, then you let it out.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that. What do you think? Right? I mean,
Absolutely.
1000%. Yeah. No,
yeah.
you want him to be animated, and you want him to, because if he's not going to say anything, I don't know if Mitch Johnson really will. And
Mhm.
those are the things that I think right now in Wimby's growth is that he's going to get hacked probably every play. It's just a
Mhm.
matter of how many times you're going to call it. And if he's getting hacked a lot, then he's going to say something, especially something as egregious as what that was. Like that play in particular, two players hacked him across the arm and they were like, no call. And he's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like they
Yeah.
literally like, look, I'm bleeding. Like
Yeah.
that's what it's going to have to take. So if he can't do it, then I need Mitch Johnson to do it. And I think that's one of the things that might happen if we got off on the wrong foot or something like that in the first like game or so of a playoff series. I think something like a Wemby technical foul or Mitch Johnson technical foul can just get the refs to go, oh, we need to call this a little bit tighter than we have been.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And in the comments, we have a round ball sighting. Por vida! There we go. Excellent. Thank you for being in here, Austin. Absolutely. There's so much to celebrate. There's so much to celebrate about this team and the way we're playing right now. And it just feels electric. And we locked that second seed. So we are officially the second seed in the playoffs. We cannot drop while simultaneously eliminating the Bucks from the playoffs. It just feels
Dude,
feels like we're doing the right things.
This game against the Cancun all-inclusives was kind of a bore fest. So,
Yes.
that's how I'm going to call these teams from now on. Like our schedule is fairly light compared to the Thunder. So that Thunder game tomorrow is going to be a big game. I need New York to like not suck like they did against the Hornets. So I'm hoping that Jalen Brunson, a matinee game in the Garden, is going to come out and just really show out. But I would say definitely get your TVs ready for that game and the Pistons game with the Thunder, because those two games could easily change this whole picture here in the West. Now, one thing that we also forget, the Thunder started 24-1.
Mm-hmm.
They started 24-1, and we're right on their heels. Like, just think about that for a second. Like, they started insanely hot, and we're on their heels. So I'm just going to say we're peaking at the right time.
They were talking about breaking records and breaking, the Warriors and going 80 and they're and for to their credit, it was looking like it at that point. It was like, wow. So you're right. For the Spurs to be at their heels, which something that no one thought would be even a remote. Everyone was like, okay, the Spurs are two. They're never gonna get one. Man, I don't know why people keep saying that. Like it's not that far fetched. Like it really isn't. Will it happen? Will it not? Who knows? But yeah, the tiebreakers are great. Man, and the Spurs. People are like, well, the Spurs have a pretty easy end. Well, they had their tough games earlier, and things are just flipped. The turns have tabled. Now the Thunder have a tough end of their schedule where the Spurs had it tough in the front end. Like, man, there is no conspiracy. You know what's crazy? The Spurs have always been this small market. Nobody cares about them. Now I'm hearing things like Adam Silver is doing this so the Spurs can win. Like there's a conspiracy for the Spurs to win. Like, wow. Like, really? Really? That's what we're saying?
You gotta grab at straws, man.
That's funny to me, man.
And then what's great too is that with the Spurs, we weren't healthy until the end of January.
Yeah.
And that's when this whole win streak and run that started, when we became fully healthy. And I mean, talking about no long term injuries, maybe a game here and there for some people, but I mean, we weren't fully healthy until that time. And then now seeing what this team is fully healthy going into the playoffs, I mean, it's, man, party in the SA is what it is. That's what it is.
Fiesta, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chicken on a stick. Let's go.
Right. It's feeling like, yeah.
Chicken on a Wemby. Let's do that one.
That's a big stick right there. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But in I'm so glad that we do have a favorable last chunk of our schedule, but we do have a couple of matchups that are going to be tricky because we're going to play the Nuggets twice. They're on a W5 right now. They're playing good basketball. There's been chunks of their season where I haven't really fully believed in them, but obviously I'm not going to count Jokic out. So I think our game and the fact that we play them the last game of the season, I think
that's going to be a big game.
I think that's going to have massive repercussions as to what happens in the West. So I think I would love to see them. I would love to see them on the other side of the bracket playing OKC.
Yeah. You know, it's, and I was just talking to my son about this because we were talking about how the whole Spurs catching the Thunder for the #1 seed. Yeah, man, the way the bracket is and kind of where we're at, I like #2, man. I really do. I don't mind #2. You know, the play in between, it looks like Phoenix and Clippers, you know, that seems to be a favorable matchup. For selfish reasons, because I'm on the West Coast, I would love for them to play the Clippers because I would be able to go there very easily. Even Phoenix. Phoenix is actually a really cool place to watch a game. So Phoenix is about 5 hours from me, right? I'm in San Diego. So selfishly, I would love for either one of those wins. And then you looking at the Rockets and the Lakers. Again, let Denver and Minnie beat each other up. And then the winners and Thunder have to beat each other up. You know, I'm not saying I'm scared of any team, but if we're really looking at this in a totality, the Denver mini teams, you know, those are tougher matchups, you know, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, than Houston and the Lakers. So, yeah, man, stay on that side, man. That's fine.
Those teams just are a little more complete than the Lakers and the Rockets. Like when I look at the Lakers and Rockets, I'm like, good God, it's the first team to 100. Like that's what it's going to be. Cause like both, I mean, Luka's going to shoot 40 shots and the Rockets can go 0 for 30 if they really try. So those types of things, like we match up very well because we can just outscore them and outpace them. Whereas like the Nuggets and the Mini, that would be more of a cerebral, like we have to really put X's and O's down to it and really kind of grind those out right before we play the Thunder. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm not nervous. I'm just not nervous. Like if it doesn't really matter who it is or what we're playing or where it's at. I mean, the fact that we also have big game experience in the NBA Cup, you were there, you saw it. I mean, that's a tough game. And that was before we were the Spurs, really. And I look at the Spurs team and I would love for us to have like the Thunder late or someone else late, just so we can kind of get a little bit a test right before the playoffs again. But I think the Nuggets are going to be fighting for seeding more than anything. And that's going to be huge for us and them. So hopefully Wemby doesn't sit for those games, but also like, don't show your hands.
Right. I mean, if we want to kind of conceal our look as to what we would do in the Jokic Wemby matchup, I wouldn't hate that. I mean, we already got our seed locked up. So if we want to kind of, like you said, just kind of hide our hand a little bit so we can bluff later on, I wouldn't hate that one bit. We certainly have so many ways we can beat them. Adding another one to the mix wouldn't be a bad idea.
I do want to highlight one thing that it's still really, really frustrating for me, and I'm sure it is for you guys too. We just make a lot of careless turnovers. Yeah. I mean, just careless, either a short pass or a long pass or just not paying attention and Castle gets swiped, you know, those types of things. And sometimes Wemby even looks like a baby deer at times. And those types of situations, like, yes, they're kind of few and far between, but I felt today we had a lot of turnovers. And that's part of the reason why they kind of got back in the game a little bit. But other than that, like, we're just nitpicking at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a lot of turnovers for who we were playing. I think we shouldn't have had that many turnovers against this team that was
Right.
essentially a G League team. But I don't view 11 turnovers as a
Not
whole.
bad.
It's not bad. I mean, if we're having 11 turnovers against the T Wolves or 11 turnovers against the Nuggets or something like that, I'm okay with it. But I mean, it's really tough when you're like you got Ryan Rollins and Andre Jackson and like these aren't good defenders. They shouldn't be forcing turnovers like that. So yeah, largely I agree, especially those backcourt turnovers. Those have been frustrating, especially earlier on in the season, but I even feel like we're starting to clean those up.
For sure.
Yeah, they're cleaning them up. They're cleaning them up. But I agree, AJ, that come playoff time, you can't have those. You know what I mean? Or you got to minimize them. You got to because it's a game of inches, and those could be the difference. If, like you said, if you could find a chink in the armor, yeah, those turnovers could be an issue. Could. Like you
Good.
said, they're
Yeah.
cleaning it up. They're cleaning it up.
Yeah.
So I'm
It's
not
not
overly
bad.
concerned. But yeah, if you got to point at something to say, well, that could be it. So like people are trying to grasp at straws and say, well, they don't have playoff experience, they don't have this, they don't have that, or there's turnovers. So if you're looking for something, then yeah, I could see that.
And I'm not mad about the turnovers. Like Rob said, like 11's not bad. It's actually really good. It's just how it happened. Like
Mhm.
they're just, two from Dylan Harper. Both were just gross. Like not throwing the ball high enough and getting it intercepted, or not seeing that someone's cutting across trying to make that interception on a pass. Like just small things like that I felt like you should notice. But it's just, we're trying to point at something, but all in all, I don't really care.
Absolutely. Either way, we absolutely took care of business tonight. Went out there, got the win like we were supposed to. Um, any other things that you want to touch on the game tonight? And I mean, I
What
don't
did you
really.
guys what did you guys think of that I guess biography of Wemby
that
before
was
the game?
that was cool. That
That
was
was
cool. I
cool.
tell you, that was cool. Prime and these networks and all these guys, they're really they got some smart people kind of putting together some stuff. I like their creativity and their thought process. I love the Wemby with his alien friends in middle school and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool, man. It's because in this day and age, it takes more than just being good at basketball, right? You have to transcend and cross over to be a star, right? In the middle America, Jane Smith can look and say, I know that tall seven something guy. I don't know what an assist is, but I do know that Wemby guy. You know what I mean? And that's
Mhm.
that's where we're going with this, right? Or where it looks like they're trying to get to, which I think it's a beautiful thing. So
Oh yeah, I mean, he's going to be the face of the league, and not only here in America but abroad
mhm,
as well. And that's
And the Galaxy.
you're right.
mhm,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I mean, I think from here to Andromeda, he's going to be holding it down. He's going to be holding it down for the Milky Way.
There you go. Yeah,
Dude, that was so funny. He was like, yeah, I got like 107,000 kids and they all got Wimpy jerseys.
yeah.
Oh my
Oh man,
Yeah.
that was it's super creative. And it's fun now because like back in the day when we had the big three, like this would never happen. It would never
Mhm.
get approved. It would never, no one would ask. But now it's like it's this new age of the Spurs where we still have like our identity as like familia and the
Mhm.
foundation of like San Antonio, but now we're able to build more on it and kind of bring more people into like, hey, there's like some really cool shit going on over here. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that there's people leaning into that and really understanding like, yeah, Wimby is going to transcend sports. And one thing like I want to also touch on is coming out of the draft, everyone was saying generational talent, generational talent, generational talent, right? First year, minutes restriction, we had a shit team. We just kind of went out and see what we had. Second year, his season got cut short because of his injury. Now we're seeing what a generational talent looks like. And as surprising as it may be, if we end up making the finals, is it really going to be that surprising? Are we going to be super shocked if he is a generational talent? But also at the same time, like if he doesn't, then it's like, well, he's still growing. So it's a win-win at the end of the season. Obviously, I won a title at the end of the season, but no matter how you look at it, it's a great position we're in.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great position that we're in, and it's nice to have expectations again. And we were talking about with Michelle Beadle. I think even if we weren't to win the title, the only team I would be even remotely okay losing to would be OKC, just because I think matchup wise, they have enough to, like, if they get hot, I could see mathematically how they would beat us, but
Sure.
I really don't. I would be frustrated if Denver or Minnesota, LA, I would be really frustrated if any of those teams beat us, because I felt like that was not justice. And so I really feel like we're setting ourselves up for, it's Western Conference Finals or bust. And
Mhm.
I think it's okay to have those expectations.
I totally agree. And again, I was just having this conversation with my son. The most catastrophic thing would be to lose in the first round. That would be just, I mean, at that point, it'd be better not to make the playoffs than to lose in the first round. So that would be just horrible because, Wemby's kind of on his villain arc. People are now people cannot wait for the downfall. And that's how you made it, right? When other I don't know how active you guys are like on Spurs Twitter and stuff like that, but we used to be fighting each other. Like when the team was
Yeah.
bad, Spurs Twitter was
Yeah.
fighting each other. It's like your brother, right? I will beat up my little brother all day long, but if somebody else messes with him, no, 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 no. Hold
Yep.
on, hold on. So Spurs Twitter were fighting each other for the longest. Now we're fighting the Rockets fans and the
Yeah.
Thunders fans, and we've merged and
Don't worry.
we've
We're
yeah,
still
yeah.
fighting. We're
We're
defending
still
the
fighting,
Jackals because
yeah.
people are like,
Oh, I
pe-
know. Oh,
people are like,
oh,
oh
oh,
my God,
God.
it's so hard to find the chance. No, it's not. It's really not that hard,
I
guys.
Oh man, you know what? That's a whole story in of itself. I love me some Jackals. I'll tell you what, they were out in Vegas when I was there. They were great. They're gracious people. I know some of them personally. They are just out there. And sometimes I feel bad for them because they are just out there like trying to be
Yeah.
positive and get. It's like those Jehovah Witnesses that are just trying to spread some nice things and we just shut the door on them. And I'm just as guilty, I'll be honest. But I don't know if that's a good example, but you know what I'm saying. Somebody who's just trying to bring some
Yeah.
nicety to your life, and you're like, leave me alone. And I shut the door on them.
Yeah.
That's kind of, the Jackals are just trying to be positive, and they're great people, man. And people, they get such a bad rep. And I agree with you, man. I think some people just want to be miserable to be miserable, and they want to complain about something. But
Exactly. And I know it's new. It's
yeah,
their
yeah,
first year. I think over
sure,
time people will
yeah,
definitely understand it and get more
yeah,
into it. But like right now
yeah,
they're complaining over the chants are too long. I'm like, dollar 210 is too long
yeah,
for you.
yeah, yeah.
Like you
They
can't
give
figure that one
out,
out.
yeah, they actually are really smart. They give out pamphlets and things of
Yes.
that's why I don't understand when people are like, I don't, the Jackals aren't doing enough. Man, if anything, they're doing a lot. Like
They're doing a
honestly, like I
lot.
said, they're
You can
doing more
hear
than,
them.
hey, they're better than I am, because I don't know if I could do all that. Like I'm serious. I'm
You're doing
sorry.
a
I'm
great
doing a
job with your
nine.
snake beer, man. You're doing a
Oh yeah,
fantastic job.
exactly.
When we
I'm
win,
just
we
stacking
bounce, right?
cups. Exactly. Yeah, when we bounce with my beautiful girlfriend Steph, I'm stacking cups. I got the belt. That's my contribution. I can't go to cheer practice and all that. Like so, the Jackals are doing a lot, man. I'm telling you, really. And it's kind of funny when people crap on them. I just, like you said, it's the first year. Anything that it's the first year is gonna have kinks. They're gonna have
Yeah.
things that they got to work on, like a business that starts their first year, they lose a bunch of
Yeah.
money their very first year.
Of
So
course.
for people like I love me some SAFC. Don't get me wrong, I love SAFC, but I've seen a lot of negativity from the SAFC people because they're like, we've been supporters for like 10 years and all that, and that's great. Don't get me wrong, that's awesome, but they're like, well, the Jackals are getting all this notoriety and it's only their first year. you know, it's a Wemby thing, man. You know what I mean? And it's a ultimately it's a good thing for the city. You know what I mean? It's a great thing for the city. You know,
It's
It's
we're
all
it
we're
it's
we're we're, we're
energy.
so yeah we're so trying to find something to be upset about, that it's the Jackals. Like that. That's what Like,
Well,
yeah,
it's how else are you going to get up for a Tuesday game at 7 o'clock when you just battle
yeah,
traffic like that?
yeah,
Like if you, at least you have someone cheering them on and having a great time. And like I said, dude, these songs aren't hard. It's ole 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 go Spurs. Like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
not difficult. The new
yeah,
one that the French people brought over with the Mercy Wemby,
yeah, yeah.
dude, that one's great. I love that one too. And I have my own, but it's for Lindy Waters. So
Well, and there's really no excuse to not know these because yeah, they're so readily available anywhere you go, whether it's social media or you're in the
Mhm.
game. Yeah, it's and I don't really get why any true Spurs fan would want to shit on any other Spurs fan for making noise and spreading passion. It's just like that's kind of what we used to be about.
Mhm. Mhm.
And maybe, over the last several years, we've kind of, steered a little away from that. But I think this next round of Spurs fans kind of led a lot by the Jackals.
yep,
I think that this next playoff atmosphere is going to feel a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure. I consider myself a pretty big Spurs fan, and I know you guys are Spurs fans, and everybody is big Spurs fans. The one biggest Spurs fan that I will always go to my grave and say who the biggest Spurs fan is, rest in peace, the Spurs lady. The Spurs lady is
1000%.
is Sovia. Sovia she's smiling down right now.
Yeah,
She is smiling down on the Jackals. She's smiling down on this playoff run. I'll tell you, man. I've had the pleasure of spending some time with her, and
that's
she is
awesome.
the most beautiful soul you can ever
Yeah,
encounter. So the Spurs lady, man, she's smiling down right now.
that's
Definitely.
great. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, 1000%, man.
Legendary Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Legendary Spurs fan.
Since the
Yeah.
70s, man. Since the 70s. Like real talk. Like you
She
just
was she
yeah.
was a fan when we were the Chaparrals.
Yes, yes. Her home is like a museum to Spurs. I'm not even exaggerating, man. She has the truck that is signed by a bunch of Spurs players, even down to the Iceman, the real Iceman, the one and only Iceman. She has that, and man, I'll tell you, man, I've been blessed to be able to hang out with her. Her home is literally a museum to the Spurs, and she's awesome, man. Like I said, rest in peace. She's smiling down on us right now.
Absolutely. 1000%, man. That was good.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like we've talked a lot about this game and Spurs in general. Do we have some dunks we want to get to, gentlemen?
I do.
Are you
So again, I'm new to the show. We can explain the dunks again.
No,
Just
watch
for
here
yeah, I
we
love
go.
it. I love it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go first to kind of give you the lay of the land so you can understand what this is, all right?
I'm a dunk virgin. I'm a dunk virgin.
Okay, well, let's pop that cherry, bro.
or pop my dunk cherry.
All right, so I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna dunk on the U.S. men's national team in Belgium. Both of them. The USA national team got their ass kicked 5-2. But what I'm gonna dunk on are their uniforms. I
Mhm.
turned it over at halftime, and I was like, "All right, let's see how this Team USA is." And I couldn't tell the difference between each team because both their uniforms looked the same. Like, how am I going to watch this game and be like, oh, yeah, USA is playing well? I don't even know who's who. And then they zoom in and there's still very little difference. Like Belgium had this like kind of cotton candy type color. And then USA had like the like red and white stripes. And like, they're both light colors. So I don't know who's home, who's away, or what's doing what. And I mean, I'm sure that the players felt a type of way about it, but from a fan perspective, like watching on TV, dude, it sucked. I was like, my eyes hurt for one, and I'm gonna have to turn it back because this is ridiculous. So dunk on them for not coordinating the uniforms properly.
Mm,
dude?
okay.
That's definitely a solid dunk, my dude. I think I'm gonna have to follow that up with a little Adam Silver dunk because it's been a little while since I've dunked on him, probably a full month. So I think it's time to dunk on him. Just all of the criticism that he's getting for the 65 game rule. A few days ago, he was 10 toes down saying, hey, I'm behind the
Mhm.
65 game rule. And then a couple of days later, he's saying, well, we can revisit it after the season. And he's starting to sound unsure about it. And my thing is, you knew this was a bad idea from the start and you were overreacting. This was an overreactment to a non-issue. And he does this to non-issues. And I feel like he's going to overreact to the non-issue that is tanking. And I just don't like that he doesn't have a backbone. He just he's wavers in the wind and just reacts to whoever is upset and then just goes with it. And this is another one of those things, because I felt like with the 65 game rule, he almost just says, hey, anyone who's voting for awards, you're too stupid to think about the nuance for yourself. And you're not gonna vote for Giannis to make all NBA because he only played 30 games. It's just that's just the way it works. And so for me, it's like he just removed all of the nuance and eliminates guys like Cade Cunningham from even being third team all NBA this season.
Right.
We know he was a top 6 or 7 guy all season long. So it doesn't make sense. And I'm tired of seeing Adam Silver just overreact to shit that doesn't even really need to be reacted to in the first place. So Adam Silver, you're getting dunked on.
And then on top of that, I heard that the 6th man of the year doesn't have to abide by the 65 game rule. And you're like, wait, hold on, what? And dude, it's one thing after another. And now you look back, and the first year Wemby was playing, he can't be defensive MVP because or player of the year because he's a rookie. And then last year was like, well, he didn't have enough games, but he led the league in blocks still, and he only played half the season. And so it's just like, you look at those things and like, clearly Wemby's been the best defensive player since he got in the league, and you're just finding excuses to not give him those things. So great dunk, Rob.
Right.
So,
I think
And so, like, if he's to sit out every game from here to the rest of the season, he can't make all NBA. He can't. So, like, it's just an arbitrary rule that needs to be removed.
Yeah, I think the spirit of it was the whole, we don't want people to be load managing and all that kind of stuff, but there has to be some common sense to this, like these situations where Cade, an unforeseen thing happened to him, and they say, oh, it's just like if this year the whole Wemby thrombosis thing happened this year, like if this happened this year, right, and then all of a sudden, whoa, he's no longer eligible. Like, come on, can we exercise some common sense? Like you said, you're basically telling the fans that you're not smart enough to have this gray area nuance that we're going to give you this black and white. That's all it is, and then that's, got it. Okay.
Fernandez,
So the dunk thing is
what we're doing now.
Yeah. We're kind of the like dunking, as in like kind of posterizing somebody and kind of crapping on them, So I like it. That's I think that's cool. I like that. I don't know how y'all came up with that.
Shitting on them because it won't sell ad revenue stuff. So
for sure. Well, what I'll say for my dunk is, there's such thing as guy code and bro code and people that have each other's backs, and we got enough. There's enough crap in this world where sometimes the women do it. The women stick together. Girl power. They always stick together, right? Sometimes somebody who ain't bros before hoes, man, I just can't deal with that, man. I just can't respect that. If you're hoes before bros, I just can't respect that, man. So I'll just leave it at that. That's my dunk. I'll dunk on anyone. I dunk on anyone who doesn't adhere to the bros before hoes. If you're gonna simp over my leftovers, hey man, have at it. Have at it.
Fair enough, my dude. I honestly, I can't disagree with that fully. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a great dunk. I think that's a dunk.
It's my first dunk.
For sure.
It's my first dunk. Yeah,
dude, that's a great dunk.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Rob,
I need to ask you something, because today you were working on a project, correct?
I was.
Can you tell us a little bit about the project? Because you teased it, and my guess was George Gervin. You said there was a Spurs Hall of Famer you were working with. So who was it? What happened? Like, I got to know.
Can you tell us?
Okay. So
we all have to sign NDAs just like here.
Well, I can't tell you what it was for, but I can tell you that I worked on a commercial with Manu Ginobili this morning, and he is amazing to work with, an amazing person. He is exactly like you think he would be. And he was working hard. He was working so hard trying to memorize the lines and we threw some curveballs at him last second where it was like, dude, this is actually going to be like a walk and talk situation where you're going to be dribbling too. And he was like, okay, I can do that. And so it was
That's
a
dope.
really, really fun to see him in that environment. And like, there was times where I gave him some direction, and I shook his hand. I told him I was a fan, and it was a really, really cool moment to get to work with Manu in that capacity, and just to see him, it was just amazing. And it was just earlier today.
That's
you
awesome.
know, yeah.
When you shook his hand, was he like, wow, it's like your partner here?
Oh my God. Honestly, like I was kind of worried I was just gonna give him a hug. I was kind of just be like, I was
Yeah.
just gonna be like, oh my goodness. But
Well,
Can't
you're like-
control yourself. Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
hey, Manu, what do you think about my snowball? So that's a good snowball, Rob.
that's yeah.
No, you know what, man? Manu is a really good guy, man. So my girl Steph and I, we run a small production company. It's called Fuerte in Motion. She does a lot of camera work and videography and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we were doing some. She's the talent. I'm just the CFO. I'm the money guy. Like, she's the creative and the talent, right? Steph. I mean, I love you if you're watching, but. So we did some work with King of Paddle. It's a pickleball, paddleball indoor place in San
Nice.
Antonio. Awesome place. And Manu was out there, and he came out there, and she did some work with them. This was a while back. She took some work videos with him and stuff like that. Awesome, man. He's like you said, man, such a down to earth guy, man, such a cool person. So yeah, man, I love you. I love when people get to see that, right? Because we see these players, and again, they're larger than life. They're athletes, and I've met some that aren't nice. I've met
For
some that
sure.
aren't nice. So people say, right, don't ever meet your heroes, right? Because you never know how it's gonna go. But Manu is such a gracious person.
Yeah,
Oh.
we all got real lucky with who we had, like the big three and everyone. Now, obviously, like, you don't go up to Tony Parker because you're like,
Mhm,
yeah, you're not
mhm.
gonna have a good interaction more than likely.
No,
Unless there's a
yeah.
girl with you, then it might be a little easier.
Well, yeah,
But-
unless you're at a club or something, you know what I mean. You might,
but then you have to deal with
yeah,
fucking Pierre.
yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, yeah.
no,
Oh,
but
dude, I saw him at the Palladium one time, and I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I like looked at him, and he just looked like he was not trying to talk to anybody. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna look
yeah,
that way.
it's
Yeah.
like, don't you have a movie theater in your house?
But it's not IMAX, AJ. Okay.
No, dude, yeah, that's really dope. And don't you have another big movie star that you're working with soon?
I am working with Adrian Grenier tomorrow, aka
Who is that, Rob? I don't know who that is.
Vinny Chase from Entourage.
Aquaman?
Yes,
Mhm.
Aquaman tomorrow. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I mean, I
Hell
can't
yeah,
tell
man.
you, can't tell you what that's on either. I mean, I know it's on some like strange documentary. I don't know what it's about though, to be brutally honest.
That's all right. Still Vinny Chase.
I mean, it's gonna be crazy. We're literally going to his ranch, like in like
Oh
out,
yeah, they all live in Austin now, don't they?
yeah, like he has insane amounts of land out past Bastrop, and it's it's gonna be pretty cool, I guess. I don't know.
It's that Aquaman money. It's
Yeah,
that Queens
absolutely.
Boulevard money.
I just hope I'm 2 for 2, and it's like, he's a cool guy as well. Absolutely. But yeah. Yeah, thank you for asking me about that. I was hyped as shit earlier because
Yeah,
anytime
man.
you get to work with him, and it was in such a cool capacity too, because we were lighting like incredibly dramatic scenes where we were like cameras dollying in as he's like sitting on the bench and like looking up, and it's like, it's cool stuff that is awesome filmmaking that and Manu's there. It's
Did he
so
bike
nice.
there?
What's up?
Did he bike there?
No, he got dropped off and he got picked up like immediately. Like he was insanely efficient with his time, and I got to give him props.
He's like,
for
I got to
that.
go to the Spurs game. I'm gonna go watch this.
Maybe, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe.
That's awesome. Well, man, I'm good on my end. I don't have anything else. But SPURNANDEZ, you got anything you want to plug or talk about?
Man, again, man, I want to thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. I've seen your pod. Again, y'all, I saw the Michelle Beadle episode, and just, you guys are cool people. This is really, other than watching it, like, I haven't interacted with you gentlemen, until this right now, and it's a pleasure, man. You guys are awesome. I love your vibe, and like I said, man, I appreciate you guys having me on. I really consider myself like a podcast person, man. Like I said, I'm a retired Marine. I just like to talk. I'm born and raised in San Antonio. I live out in Cali now. I have this whole thing going on. Again, I have my sons and my
Sure.
girlfriend Steph back home, and even my ex-wife, man. My ex-wife Christina. We have a great relationship. We've been together since we were 14, and we split years ago. But she's my best friend now. And again, my beautiful girlfriend Steph at home or back in San Antonio. I am beyond blessed. My life is beyond blessed. Even with the haters out there, it's still beyond
Yeah.
blessed. And I just appreciate you guys giving me a small little slice of this. And I would love to come back any other time, man. I appreciate
Well,
y'all.
we'll have to make a trip out to San Diego, and also thank you for your
Please.
service as well.
It was my pleasure. And please come out to San Diego, man. It's a beautiful place. I tell anybody, if you come to San Diego, please reach out to me. I've been out here for about 12 years now, so it's like my second home. So please don't come to San Diego without reaching out to me, man, because we can have a blast. So,
Tacos, beer, and legal weed. I'm for it.
oh,
Oh, well,
yeah. Legal weed. Yep.
I
Yep.
I I
Literally.
r I
Yeah.
remember going out there a few times when my brother was at Thomas Jefferson Law School, and
Nice.
we had some good times in San Diego, so I'm
Yeah.
don't
Yeah, yeah. Don't
yeah,
tell me it was a good time.
yeah, I
Don't
was about
tell
to
me
say,
it was a good time. Yeah,
I will
yeah.
be
Oh,
there.
don't. Yeah, you can have a good time in San Diego. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you can't have a good time in San Diego, you got some problems, man. So, again,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah, for sure, man. Again, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate you guys
Well,
having
thanks,
me, man.
thanks
This
for
was
jumping on,
fun.
man. We
Yeah.
appreciate it for sure. But
Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely appreciate everyone for listening, and yeah, John Doe, appreciate you for being in here, and glad we could keep you entertained on your drive. It's been a fantastic episode over here at the Baseline Bums podcast. We appreciate you. We not only love you, but we love you hard over here. All this is brought to you by Love You Hard TV and the wonderful people over at the In the Building podcast. Shout out to Mike, Rudy, Jose, everyone over there.
Pubapalooza.
Absolutely. Make sure you're following In the Building and Love You Hard TV, but also us over here at the Baseline Bums. We have a lot of fantastic stuff going on. We got a lot of really great post-game episodes coming up. We got a lot of great content on the way. We just had the homie Spurnandez on the episode, and we got a lot of amazing guests along the way. So make sure you're tuning in and make sure you're following along, whether it's here on YouTube, whether it's IG, TikTok, the audio streams on Apple Podcasts, wherever we are not that hard to find. I promise you, we are literally everywhere. But that being said, we're going to end this episode the same way we end all episodes. And that's with the nice Go Spurs go, okay? All right. And on 1, 2, 3, go Spurs go. And 1, 2, 3, go
Go
Spurs
Spurs.
go.
Go.